But what I gather, what I heard the Chief Minister say yesterday, is that Viksit Telangana wants to be the #1 state in the country with $1 trillion GSDP by 2034 and $3 trillion by 2047, the centenary of the independence. Today, the GSDP of Telangana is about 16.7 trillion rupees, which roughly translates to $250 billion. We are at $250 billion today. We've got to get to 3 trillion in 22 years, which means multiply the GSDP by 15 times. And if you do simple arithmetic, it means that the state has to grow by about 8 to 9%, perhaps even faster. One trait of lead, that's a tough goal, a challenging goal, difficult, but not impossible. One trait of leadership is actually to set impossible goals, near impossible goals. So I want to congratulate the government for setting that goal. Yesterday, the Chief Minister mentioned that Telangana wants to replicate the Gyeongdong success. Gyeongdong is the best practice in accelerated growth rate. Not perfect, but probably the best practice. I'm sure Telangana will do even better. It's presumptuous on my part to lay out the agenda, because the agenda for getting 2047 Telangana is large, complex, and that's going to be in the document. It'll be presumptuous for me to second-guess that at the moment. But I want to make a few points at this stage. The first is the state must build on its core competence. Hyderabad is already known for its IT, its pharma, its biotechnology, services. Where I live in KPHB, there is GCCs coming up every day. So I see them, I experience them. But Telangana must expand into manufacturing, agribusiness, and into a variety of sectors to create jobs. The second is infrastructure. Physical infrastructure, digital infrastructure, and social infrastructure. Before we met, you came on the stage, we were talking to the IT Minister, Sridhar Babu Garu, and he was telling us about how Telangana government has aspirations of making Hyderabad the innovation center, AI innovation center for the country. The country looks up to Hyderabad. So that's the second thing you must be focusing on. The third, ease of doing business. Now, we all talk about it, we all know about it. And I'm sure the Chief Minister and his team are experienced. But when we were in the government 20 years ago, when we went around like these people are going around these days, canvassing for investment, you know what entrepreneurs like Sri Anand Mahindra tell chief ministers and ministers? If you want to give us tax concessions, it's okay. If you want to give us utilities at low cost, that's okay. But what we want more than all this is law and order, rule of law, and no interference from your people. So ease of doing business is something that you must be concentrating on. Chief Minister, you said yesterday that you're not competing with the rest of the country, you're competing with globally. You know, actually, I think as the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka said yesterday, competing within the country is actually good. Healthy competition among states is good, and you're competing globally, setting yourself an aspiration. Primary education and primary health, I'm sure it's part of the agenda. Politicians don't normally, pardon me for saying this, I'm being a bit blunt, but politicians don't normally concentrate on education and health. The reason is, I'm not blaming anyone, but the reason is democratic compulsions force politicians to have a short-term horizon. Do things that will yield results in the short term. No, they tend to relegate long-term things, because they're things that will generate results much later, because they're not political priority. But they're very, very important, as you must have noticed. You know, Karl Johan Juncker, who was the former Chancellor of the EU, he said, We all know what is the right thing to do. He was a politician. No? He said, we know what's the right thing to do. We don't know how to get re-elected after that. I'm sure that Chief Minister Revanth Reddy and his team are going to find a new model and prove Karl Juncker wrong, that it is possible to do things and get re-elected. Okay? And then I saw in the papers, in the media, pure, rare, inclusive growth. I cannot emphasize this enough. Accelerating growth is important. Growth is necessary, but not sufficient. 8%, 9% growth, if it's just a number, if the benefits of growth are not widely shared, that growth cannot be sustained. So you must have inclusive growth, which means that the benefits of growth must go to the poorest person in Telangana, to the most farthest point in Telangana. I'm sure the vision document is going to concentrate on that.